Here we are at the end of our summer challenge, and hopefully, oh, there we go. Had a little blip there. Here we are at the end of our summer challenge, and I hope everyone has made a little itsy bitsy step forward on your journey, your peace of mind journey, and gotten something written down, thought about people who can help, at least at the very minimum, believe that there is some peace of mind to be had somewhere, and that some of the anxiety can fall away and some other people can lift you up and help. As far as filling out the full caregiver guide, it's a huge task. If you've done that over this 5 weeks, bravo, congratulations, gold star, because it's not easy. It's not the task itself, but as we've talked in the last couple of weeks, it's the mental preparation and the having to stop and think about what you're doing and write it down and find that time. It's a lot. So I want to just talk today about where you got stuck. Is it just too big of a task to bite into? And how do we break that down? And how do we get unstuck? And how do we move forward? Do not berate yourself. Do not let this add to more anxiety. This is supposed to be a freeing, peaceful experience that you chisel away at bit by bit. And it's not about feeling like you have another task and another burden, because that's the last thing we want to do here, is to make you feel even more stressed out. So, think about over these last couple of weeks, if you've been watching, as you've been thinking about how to tackle your own journey in your own situation. Now is just about the time of saying, okay, how do I do that? So awesome. Julie's on right now, and she has done her daily schedule, the doctor's information, and her medicine list. 2 thumbs up. Awesome. It's just about, is that helping you, Julie, feel a little bit more, just a little bit along your journey towards feeling a little bit more organized and having that sort of peace of mind that someone else could look to something and have a reference for all that you do? So I hope that that has helped. I just usually start by thinking, where am I stuck? What is actually getting me stuck? I saw a great little quote just yesterday. It said that procrastination is not laziness. Procrastination is a coping mechanism. Okay, you're protecting yourself from hard stuff. You're not lazy. You're not doing something that you should be doing. It is a coping mechanism, and it is a difficult thing to do. So just give yourself a hug, give yourself a pat on the back, and say, I'm just going to take this slow, and I'm going to do this when I can, and any step forward is positive. Don't put the weight of the world on your shoulders with this as well. You already have the weight of the world on your shoulders. So think about where you're getting stuck and where things are happening. I know trust was a big issue we talked about with some people. Finding time in the day, mental exhaustion, not feeling like you have support. There's a lot of places you can get stuck. So let's not lump it all in together as just one big stuck thing. Let's start to organize even your stuckness. Like, what is it? And find those pieces that are fun for you and that feel good to you. If you like taking pictures of stuff, just start documenting with your camera. If you love setting up reminders, start with that piece. When you open up a tab in the caregiver guide, don't feel like you have to finish the whole thing in one sitting and it's too overwhelming. Just start to chisel away at it. Fill in a few things and then go back later and fill in more details as you can. And you'll find it's a bit of a gush as you start to do. The first one's the hardest, And then you start to go and it's like, oh, okay, I got this. This is not too hard, most on the mental level and the time commitment level. Um, so break it up. I mean, we've kind of covered everything in about 5 segments, 5 weeks. So good timing, kind of from now till the end of the year, for those that are watching live, is about 5 months. So get that first tab squared away, or 1/5 of it squared away soon, and chisel away and set it as a goal for finishing up by the end of the year if that is more your pace. Um, Again, start with the easier stuff for you. Everybody's easy stuff is going to be different, so I'm not going to go into what to start with because some people love searching for links on the internet, other people don't. Some people don't mind going through their phone to find contacts and copy them in. Some people don't. I mean, everybody's got stuff that the stuff that's going to be the easiest for you is the stuff you already have organized. So you're not, trying to tackle multiple organizational issues at once. So the stuff you already have written down somewhere, just copying and pasting it over, that's going to be the easiest for you. The other thing is if you haven't asked for help yet, not necessarily with the person you're caregiving for, but just help doing this project. Find someone to help. That's the easiest way. Again, the gush. You get one person who can help you with something, and then it gets easier and easier to ask for help on other things. So maybe have someone in your life, let's see, your partner, other children, a next door neighbor, a family friend, another relative, maybe a volunteer from the high school. Maybe it's easier to work with someone that can help you take pictures and document things that you don't know. Each of us is different, and each of us has different connections with the people around us. But there will be someone who will say, hey, I can look through that for you. I can fill in that for you. Or you just sit and tell me and I'll type it in for you. Look for those partner opportunities, because that's what this is all about, is getting it out of your head, out onto paper so other people can take part. And so if you right away just find someone who can help with that, that's going to be amazing. So let's go over, let's look at the past 5 weeks and see where we're at and what we covered. And hopefully this will be a good little recap, and a send off for you. I am going to be available through this page and on the P.O.M journey, the peaceofmindjourney.com website. Reach out, tell me how it's going, make suggestions. I want to hear from everybody to see how this can be better, how you've made it work for you. Share some successes. Let's do this together. So that first week we talked a lot about writing things down and getting them out of our head. And also, if you write something down, it doesn't make it law. Doesn't mean you have to do it. Remember, you could write something down as your dream schedule. Doesn't mean that you are now forced to do that schedule. It means that this is a guide for someone else coming in, something that your goals are that you want to do. So remember, just because you've written it down doesn't mean that now your life is more challenging, because some of these things we talked about, we're doing everything. Remember, you're segmenting this out so that you're not having one person replacing you. That's not the goal. It's going to be a team. And those people are going to have more energy and time and mental space to do all of the things that maybe you right now can't. We also talked about how that will carry over maybe into your daily life, and things that you will change how you do things, or hopefully include more people in what you're doing. But just don't get stuck on, oh, I can't do that, I'm not going to write it down. Just write things down. If you want your child out in the community more, write those things down. Those are important. Um, the guide is meant to be a whole person guide. We're starting with, remember, the stories and photos about the person, make them a person. It's not all about just instructions and medications. It's about the whole person and trying to translate that, especially if the person you're caregiving for is nonverbal. You really need to be their voice. And this guide and how you set things up can be their voice. If you don't want to write and take photos, just sit down in front of the video camera and tell some stories and talk about the person you're caregiving for and upload the link to the video. YouTube is free. You can upload a link, you can make it private, and share that person, and be sure to do that. Find help, find a buddy. That was our first week's assignment, was to find a buddy to help you keep accountable for making sure you're getting through this. Maybe it's another person who's also doing it and you guys can do it together, or it's someone who's just going to just check in on you or even support you in some way. I know I mentioned a few times the CHAOS acronym, can't have anyone over syndrome. I love that acronym. Talked about when your house is a mess, but all of a sudden you're having guests and things get done and fixed after they've been sitting there for months. All of a sudden you jump into action and get them done. So let's carry over and use that. Imagine someone is coming over to take on your role. So let's fix some of those things. Let's jump into action and let's start to organize some things, because again, we never find time to do it just for ourselves, but when we have other people coming to take part, sometimes it's a bit of a motivator. I know it is for me. That second week, my favorite week, we talked about your P.O.M squad. Who are the people that can help take on all these parts? Because after you've been sitting there thinking about and thinking about writing down all these parts, you realize you're doing everything. You're planning everything. You're making everything, planning everything, executing everything. So why not bring in some other people now, or at least talk to them about being that person, if something were to happen to you. Remembering birthdays, planning a party, food preparation, um, photos, Easter photos. I don't know. There's so many little things. Playing an instrument, taking walks. There's so many little roles that people can play. Really open up your mind and start to engage people. Say, hey, like, I know you like going for walks through the neighborhood every afternoon. Could you come get my daughter and do that with her once a week? Just start small, something like that. But when after talking about the P.O.M squad and talking about these people, this is when a lot of you mention trust issues and that you don't trust anyone with your child, um, and you're stuck there. That's your big stuck point. So we talked a lot about why you're going to need to work through that for your peace of mind. I know that seems kind of contradictory because the non-trust issue is what makes you more anxious, and which shouldn't be something that would necessarily add to your peace of mind. But there are people out there who I think you will find will add to that peace of mind. Again, all of our situations are different. All of our communities are different. Our housing situations are different. Our stresses are different. We have different levels of aloneness, and even within our own families, within our own households. This is going to be a tough piece, but you have to just keep believing there are some beautiful people out there who can help you. And you don't need to leave someone alone with your child for them to help you. Think of those other ways they can help you. Maybe just walking with you when you go for a walk. coming with you to the grocery store or a doctor's appointment. Maybe someone's really great at braiding hair and doing cool hair things. Maybe they'd come over once a month and braid your daughter's hair. There are umpteen possibilities for seeking people out. And then once they're part of your world at a small level like that, they need to earn your trust. You you know, you'll start to see and feel, and you'll see about how you feel, and if you can kind of release more and more trust to that person. I like starting with people who are at the school, aides, therapists, helpers, teachers, because they've been background checked. They have a track record already with people at the school. So that's, one place to start maybe. But the Palm squad is very important. You need a few people on your squad. I think the loneliness and the weight of doing everything is what gets most of us, at least through the conversations I've had with people. And I know personally that is the hardest piece to deal with. So that trust level, we talked in week 3 with your schedule, your care, your medical. As you're writing all these things down, don't just be thinking about the specific details, but think about who could be best at doing this piece. Um, it's hard because we're a friend, we're a caregiver, and sometimes the people we seek out, they're really good at, say, a nursing role, but they're not that great of a friend or a buddy. They're not dancing and singing and reading stories, but they're very good at being hygienic and dispensing medicines. You'll find, as you're around people, you'll see what their strengths are and what you can comfortably have them doing. It is very hard to find something all rolled up in one. And remember, you don't want that person to do everything because you're having issues with doing everything. So why would you want that on someone else? Use people's strengths, build a team that likes doing the various different things that you are doing now or the things you wish could be done. I mean, I see some amazing things out there that people do. I'm like, wow, I don't have time for that. Um, then I think, well, I could write that down, and maybe someone who ends up being part of this Palm Squad has that capacity and can do that. So the schedule, we talked about maybe sharing as a first step. After you make this schedule, set up reminders and share that with someone that maybe you're trying to show as a first step everything you're doing. Maybe it's your own parents, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your eldest child, someone that you need to at least just start to soft introduce all that you're doing. And a great way to do that is once you set up your schedule, set up reminders, and then share those reminders. I did find a couple of apps, Google Keep, if you want to keep within the Google system. I guess Google is a good way because some people might be on iPhone and Android, and if these apps would work for anyone. So Google Keep was one I found, and Todoist, Todoist. Those were recommended as good sharing tools to collaborate with others. Um, and then the care and the medical. I had set that up in the caregiver guide from head to toe, just everything to do with their hair, cutting, washing. Maybe they have some psoriasis issues, whatever it is. Eyes, everything from the eye doctor to eye care, glasses, eyelashes. Um, Maybe there's special care. I have to trim my daughter's eyelashes. difficult. But her eyelashes grow so long and she wears glasses, they hit the glasses, and that's really annoying. So everybody's going to have a different list, but if you go head to toe, you're not going to miss anything, and that introduces that way of thinking to others so that it's very organized. Um, then in that fourth week, we talked about prioritizing things because we talked about symptoms and diet, but we really need to prioritize. You have to remember that someone who's coming in who has not spent time in this situation with the person you're caregiving for, everything is at the same level. It's like, I don't want to move her arm differently because that might be bad. I don't want to change anything up. I want to follow everything specifically, and that can get burdensome. So remember to, when you're making notes, figure out how to, maybe with a 1, 2, or 3, or a green, red, or yellow, like, hey, anything highlighted orange or red or whatever you color is life or death. Like, do not change this. You just is a non-negotiable. Usually things to do with medications, food allergies, medication allergies, things like that cannot be changed. Don't even try. Then there's the second tier of, okay, if you change this, there's probably going to be some discomfort. Say with diet, or positioning, clothing, whatever it is that it changes up, there's going to be some discomfort there, and it's just not going to be good. And then lastly, give a few green lights. Remember to talk about the good things, the things that can be changed, the things that your child can do, so that they feel like, oh, okay, this is good. I have a little wiggle room here, and they are capable of these extra steps or these extra changes. So that's important to do. And then lastly, we talked about all the resources, whether it be products, a food, a website, a Facebook group, a research group, a local resource, all of the key connections. It really is amazing how much our kids need and where we find it. And thank goodness for the internet. I started the journey with Sarah. She's 21 before internet and Facebook was that big of a deal, but it's become a lifesaver. And there's just we find so many great resources out there. So remember to write those down and share them so that the next person is not starting from scratch. And that might be a P.O.M squad person. Let's say you're trying to hand all this off to a spouse or an older child who is not going to be on social media, but social media is a huge support network for you. Task a friend, someone maybe you've never even met, but you're friends with them on Facebook and you're in a group with them, and say, hey, if anything ever happens to me, can you be the person in the Facebook group that asks questions on behalf of my spouse or my older child? Because they're not going to be on Facebook and they're not going to want to come in these groups. But they could reach out to you and say, hey, like, can you post this in the group, or do you have advice? And then they could kind of be that moderator for you. So, there's an idea right there for someone for your P.O.M squad. So, and products and resources, your documents, your logins. Again, you don't have to have these in this guide. You could create a separate page, because especially with the documents and logins, maybe it's something you don't want everyone to have access to. You can set that up how you want. Again, we're all on a different journey. We're all at different stages of the journey. We all have different levels of trust. We all have different needs. This is just supposed to be your guide, motivator, inspiration to move forward, to have some release, and to have some peace of mind for yourself. We can't We can't do what we're doing for decades on end without some support. And mentally, we can't think about the future without future support. The best would be to bring both worlds together and have the support we're dreaming up for the future actually take place in the present. But that's the ultimate goal. But just starting small will hopefully get you to a point that this journey leads to a beautiful place. So lastly, I'm just going to recap some tools that I've talked about over the last 5 weeks, and then send you on your way. Lots of good luck. Um, First tip I would say is just to simplify and declutter first. Before you start writing things down, just clean out closets, simplify, declutter everything so that you're not trying to write down complicated stuff. You're not trying to figure it out all at the same time. But if you purge the closets, get things more organized first, that's a helpful tip, I think. We talked about having for the products, everything listed in Amazon has a teen account. I think I mentioned in a past video that it was called a child account. The child account doesn't give the tool, and neither does the adult account. So Amazon Prime has something called household. So if you go to amazon.com/myh, just MYH, that will bring you to the household tool where you can add either a child, a teen, or another adult. The teen is the only level, it's like 12 to 17-year-olds, that will allow the feature that I love where someone else can order things. They log into your child's teen account. They can order things, but they don't have access to your credit card. And it's not ordered until you approve it. So it gets sent to you as a text or an email and says, you approve this order, you can review it. It's just a way to streamline having other people involved. If they notice you're running out of something, they can tap into that. So if you do have an old phone around that can maybe become your child or the person, your caregiver's phone, if they don't already have one, set up their little Amazon account in there as a Amazon teen account in a household. They can have their own little login that's not connected to yours, so they can't see everything you've ordered. They don't have access to the financial piece. It's a great, great tool. And don't, I'm going to write to Amazon and have them say they need to up this age. But I mean, my daughter's 21, but I mean, I just put a different birth date in so that she would qualify for a teen account because it's got great tools in it. The reminder and the sharing, remember we talked about Google Keep and Todoist as two apps that would help you share not only the reminders, but notes, all kinds of things that you can collaborate with people on. So if you are starting to pull people into your P.O.M squad, remember to start small, and maybe just having them knowing what you're doing is the first step. And that's a good way to do that. Of course, photo apps. Amazon Prime also has free unlimited photo storage. Google has photo storage as well, but they've started to limit theirs. So I've switched over to the photos with the Prime since I'm already paying for the Prime account. So lots of stuff. I think it's going to come down to you being able to set aside some time and figuring out when that's going to be. You just believing in the fact that there are other people who can be part of this journey with you is key. You have to really believe it yourself to be able to move along these steps and get yourself unstuck. I wish everyone huge success. I congratulate all of you on being who you are, doing what you do, and taking on so, so much. We all carry a lot. And I really wish for everyone to be able to feel some peace of mind, and move along on your journey, because we all deserve to be less anxious, and less stressed and enjoy our day-to-day life with our child more. So I'll keep posting on this page, maybe do some future things. If you've got some ideas, throw them my way. I've really enjoyed this, and I'm going to have the videos available. They're up on YouTube and they'll be here. Pass it on, share with other parents. Let's get more of us on this journey to a peace of mind. So good luck, everybody. And I know fall is a big transition time for back to school and finishing school and all kinds of different things. So good luck to everyone with that, if that's the time of year you're watching this. And good luck always. So let's keep in touch and just keep making things better. Bye.